So I think one of the biggest problems students face is that after school, they are just drained. The energy is just taken out of them by school. Because I mean, school is like such a tiring time, right? Like you're forced to be in classes all day, you're barely exercising, your diet's probably trash if you're eating the school food, you're there for 8 hours, you're forced to socialize with people you hate, you're nervous and stressed around these girls that you like, school just takes all the energy out of you. But if you're a student, you know that just being in school is not enough to do well in your subjects. You know that after school, you've also got to study. You got to do work. You got to do work on weekends, right? So in this video, I'm going to explain to you how to overcome this big problem that pretty much all students face, where after school, they are just so tired that they don't feel like doing work. They have no energy to study. So I'll give you some bonus tips on how to get energy and how to overcome this problem of having no energy after school. Because I 100% relate to this, especially in high school when I was forced to be at school from like 7 till like 3, right? For like 8 hours. On the way home, on the bus on the way home from school, I would literally just be sitting there and I would be like falling asleep, literally just sitting there, right? Like I would like fall asleep on the bus and the bus would hit like a speed bump and I'd like wake up, right? But for some strange reason, when I got home and tried to take a nap in my comfortable bed, I could not. I 100% relate to this problem, so I'll go through now how to overcome this. The first thing I can tell you is this afternoon crash that you experience in the afternoon, to an extent, is completely normal. So scientifically, we have this thing called like a circadian rhythm, which is basically like how tired we are throughout the day, how our energy levels are. It kind of fluctuates from hour to hour, right? And it's completely normal, it's completely natural that most people have this like crash in energy around like the mid-afternoon, late afternoon, right? It's completely normal. Even if you do everything right, eat perfectly, get good sleep, chill in the morning, you are still gonna experience this crash in the afternoon. Like right now, I did not feel like filming this video. I was super tired. Like it's about 2 p.m. right now. I'm experiencing that afternoon crash. I had to have a coffee before this video. So it's completely normal to experience this afternoon crash to an extent. So to an extent there, you can't really fight it. You just have to embrace it and find ways to overcome it. So it's completely normal. So the first tip I can give you is try to rearrange your schedule. So instead of trying to force yourself to study in this afternoon period where your focus is going to be lower, your motivation is going to be lower, your output is going to be lower, why not do that work that you need to do at a different time? So here's what I can tell you. 99% of students are going to ignore this tip that I'm going to give you. But if you're a top 1% student, you will jump onto this tip because it will blow up your ability in your subjects. So basically, instead of doing the hard work, your assignments or your exam preparation, this important stuff, instead of doing that after school when you're super tired, do it before school. Again, you're going to want to skip this because you're going to think, what the hell? Like, I'm already waking up at 7 a.m. and you want me to wake up even earlier to do my work? That's exactly what I'm saying. In high school, it was 45 minutes for me to get to school and school started at 7:30, right? So I had to wake up at 6 a.m. to go to school. But I was still waking up at 4 a.m. a lot of the time in high school in my last few years so I could get study done before school. Here's why. Because when you wake up, that is when you're most alert. That is when your brain is at the best capacity. And school is going to drain the daylights, drain the energy out of you regardless, right? So why not do that hard shit before school and let school drain the energy out of you? So get that stuff done early in the morning, right? Because here's the thing, if you're going to school all day, in the back of your mind, you know that when you get home, you're not going to be able to relax. You're knowing like, oh damn, when I get home, I'm going to have to work on this assignment. I'm going to have to study for this exam. So to an extent, your mental health is kind of screwed throughout the day if you're leaving your work to after school. But if you do that important schoolwork before school, you feel this like sense of relief. Imagine going to school in the morning, being on your way to school, knowing that the hard stuff that you have to do for the day is done. How good would you feel throughout school, right? You'd feel so much more relaxed, so much better in school, literally in school, if you did that hard stuff before school, right? So again, 99% of students are going to ignore this. They're going to make 1,000 excuses. They're going to be like,
oh damn, I want to sleep in, man. I don't want to wake up early. I'll just do my stuff after school.
But if you're a top 1% student and you actually want to have like better mental health throughout the day and also get better grades, then do what I'm saying at least an hour before school. Get some serious work done instead of leaving it to the afternoon when you're tired and when you're going to be thinking about it all day. So this is the first tip I can give you. Like literally on the bus on the way to school, when all the other students around me were like listening to music kind of half asleep, I was there like studying on my computer, on the bus, even on my phone, on the bus on the way to school. Or I was like learning languages and stuff. Either way, you might think, oh, I'm a fucking nerd or something. But like, I'm just doing it smart, because then after school I could chill. Like me personally in high school, I wanted to play video games, but you can spend that time after school for other stuff, your more important tasks. So this is the first thing I can tell you. If you're serious about studying, do it before school. Now, if you've got other priorities in your life, say for example, you know, you have to prioritize sports, or you're really interested in making like an online business to like free yourself financially or something, then okay, maybe you can do that before school, because that's when you're going to be most alert. I'll go through some other tips here. If you really have to do work after school, how exactly do you tackle it? Or if you're a lazy, you know, student, here's how you overcome that afternoon tiredness. So here's the first thing I can tell you. Imagine you're sitting at home on the couch after school, right? It's been a tiring day and you're sitting at home on the couch and you know that you have to work on your assignment, right? But you really don't feel like doing it, okay? And then imagine a guy breaks into your house and he comes up to you with a gun and he puts the gun to your head and he says,
"You must do your homework now or you're dead."
What are you gonna do? You're gonna get the fuck onto your desk and you're gonna do your assignment, right? You could probably do your assignment for 6 hours if he has the gun to your head, right? So here's the thing. Your ability to do your homework is not some kind of physical constraint. Physically, you can do it, right? Physically, you have the ability to do it. It's a mental constraint, okay? The reason you can't study after school is because mentally you're coming up with a million excuses. Your brain's saying like, oh man, we're too tired, you know, we can just do it tomorrow. Let's just skip today and chill, right? So your brain is coming up with these excuses and you're listening to your brain and you're not doing the work. So here's the thing. When you don't feel like doing something, when your brain tells you to do one thing, but you do it anyway, what is that called? It's called discipline. Now, I know you want to be super disciplined, right? You're really interested in becoming a super disciplined person, you know, working hard in your life, achieving many things, right? You want to become disciplined, right? This is your chance to be disciplined. Every time you don't feel like doing something, but you do it anyway, that's called discipline. And the more you do discipline, the better your discipline ability becomes. Like a super disciplined person is not someone who is like always motivated to work, always motivated to push hard. Like imagine David Goggins, right? Do you think he feels like doing an hour of push-ups a day? Definitely not, right? His brain's probably coming up with a million excuses why he shouldn't run 10 miles every day, right? But he does it anyway. That's what makes him disciplined. He doesn't feel like doing it, but he does it anyway. So this is your opportunity to practice your discipline. When you're sitting on your desk after school tired and not feeling like doing work, think of it as a chance to build up your discipline skill, your discipline ability, and do the work anyway. And here's the thing, after a couple days, after a week, it will start to become a habit, you doing work after school, and you won't need discipline anymore to do it. It'll be natural to just come home, sit on your desk, open a textbook, begin doing your questions or whatever. So that's the second thing I can tell you. Use discipline, build up your discipline skill like I know you want to. Now many students are gonna make this excuse. They're gonna say like, oh man, but I'm so burnt out. I'm like mentally drained. Here's the thing. 99% of students have never experienced burnout in their life. What they've experienced is like just their brain coming up with a million excuses. You know, the human body is designed to work really hard and be able to work hard all day, right? So chances are you're not actually burnt out. Chances are you're just emotionally and mentally coming up with like a million excuses to not do the work. So do it anyway. You are burnt out if you literally slow down as you're doing the work. You will know you're burnt out because you'll like literally like be struggling to focus, struggling to do work. So chances are you're not burnt out. Chances are you're just lazy and not doing the work. You're a pussy, right? So get the work done, you know? Even if you don't feel like it. Okay, so the third thing I can tell you, right? This is a pretty big one. The question I've got for you is, why the fuck do you need to study after school? You just spent 8 hours in school, right? And you still need to study after school? What the hell were you doing during the hours of school, right? So the 8 hours of school is more than enough for you to get all your study, all your work done, right? So if you didn't get your study and your work done during the hours of school, what were you doing? So here's the question I want to ask you, right? Now, I'm not saying that you must spend your school hours studying, because you might have other priorities in your life, right? For example, let's say you're a university student and you really want to improve your social life, your social skills, your confidence or whatever. Maybe you're spending the hours at school like meeting up with people, socializing, going to activities. That's fair enough. Do that, enjoy that, okay? But if your priority in your life right now is your studies, your work, then what are you doing during school? You got to ask yourself, what are you doing during school? Are you wasting time during school? Like if during school you're doing like productive stuff, like I said, socializing or exercising or something like that, fair enough. But if you're just like spending time at school, like messing around, you know, going on TikTok in class or like, you know, playing video games during lunchtime or something, then what are you doing? You know, school time, the 8 hours during school is more than enough to be able to get some serious stuff done. So if you're messing around during school, then you might want to reconsider your priorities, right? So again, I'm not saying you have to study during school. Like you might want to be socializing during school, or you might want to be doing stuff like that, like exercise, or you might be working on your business during school or something. But if you have to get your work done after school, then you better have been doing something important during the school hours, right? So reconsider your priorities, consider that maybe you're just messing around during the school hours. But because I know like school can really be like a big waste of time. Like I pretty much never learned anything during class, to be honest. All the learning I did in school was like done after school on my own, studying and stuff. Like class was a complete waste of time for me. So you might be able to use your time more efficiently. Like for example, if the teacher's not really paying attention to you and you're not really learning much in class, you could spend that time working on your business or, you know, doing something like that, right? Or reading, I don't know. So just consider your priorities and consider why you even need to study after school. Okay, now I'll give you a couple bonus tips on how to get a boost of energy after school. So the first thing I can tell you is I always struggled to have a nap after school, right? Even though I was so tired, I struggled to have a nap. So here's something I learned from the scientist Andrew Huberman. You can actually have a nap without actually falling asleep. Here's how you do it. Search up NSDR. It's called non-sleep deep rest. Basically, just search it up, learn how to do it. Basically what you do is you listen to a script as you're lying down and it relaxes you and it makes you feel like you've napped for like an hour, even though you've only been lying down for 15 minutes listening to something. So give it a try, NSDR. It can give you an instant boost of energy when you get home. I didn't know about NSDR when I was in high school, but if I did, I probably would have done it every day when I got home from school. That's the first thing. The second thing is like, you know, get some activity, get some physical exercise after school. If you don't do physical exercise during the school hours, you can get a boost in energy by, you know, playing a sport or something after school or going to the gym after school. And that can give you the energy you need when you get home, right? Or the other thing is like go for a walk, get some sunlight. You know, these are just a couple ways to get a boost in energy if you need to do work after school. And the other thing, another quick bonus tip, take advantage of the weekends. Many students have this mindset that the weekend is for relaxing. This is the worst mindset I've ever heard in my life because weekends don't exist. Weekends are not real, right? Like days are just a human social construct, right? Saturday is no different to Monday, right? So in my opinion, you should be studying every single day. It's better to study a tiny bit every day than to do a ton of work during the week and then nothing on the weekends, right? Like I'm not saying don't relax, but like don't be stuck in this mindset that weekends are 100% for relaxing, right? If you've got some free time on the weekends, spend it to study. You know, spend it to work on your own goals, work on your business or whatever. Don't just waste it because you feel like you have to waste it because that's what everyone else is doing, right? So weekends can be a good opportunity to have high energy and get the work done. Like, you know how I said wake up and do the hard stuff as soon as you wake up? Do that on the weekends as well. Like, you know, the more you make something a habit, the easier it becomes every single day. So I hope this video helped. Let me know in the comments if it helped. Subscribe. See you later.